Back in Gaza. Still in Gaza. The Qatari Prime Minister today, I'm sure you saw his comments, but he was quite downbeat on the prospects for further negotiations and was blaming Israeli actions and words going to Rafah. I mean, do you still believe that talks are possible? Do you think is diplomacy ongoing on this?
So we continue to believe that a hostage deal is the best way to save the lives of the hostages, avoid a full-scale military operation where more than 1 million people are sheltering. And despite reports of the contrary, talks continue to be ongoing. And we're continuing to do everything we can to focus on getting these conversations done. Look, to take a step back, we've long said that a ceasefire that is coupled with a deal to release all hostages, one that is coupled with the additional flow of humanitarian aid, is something that can help create the space for additional diplomacy in the region.
And when you say talks are ongoing, does that mean like in virtual form or?
I'm just not going to speak to the specifics.
Yeah. Could I ask you one other thing about Gaza?
Sure.
There's some attention yesterday's statements by the Deputy Secretary regarding Israel. He was speaking in Florida, Kurt Campbell, saying that that Israelis talk of sweeping victory in the battlefield, total victory. I don't think we believe that is likely or possible. No, the day before, the Secretary Blinken, he said on one of the talk shows that that it's perhaps not possible for Israel to eliminate all of Hamas. Are they saying the same thing, or Deputy Secretary Campbell's remarks might have implied that perhaps there's not a possibility of victory in some form by Israel? Can you clarify what?
So what Secretary Blinken and also Deputy Secretary Campbell are talking about, to take a bit of a step back, the president and this administration have been clear that the U.S. wants to see Hamas defeated, and we want to see justice delivered as it relates to the perpetrators of the October 7th terrorist attacks. There can be no equivocation on that. But while of course military pressure is necessary, it is not the only sufficient thing to fully defeat Hamas. If Israel's efforts are not accompanied by a political plan for the future of Gaza, for the future of the Palestinian people, the terrorists will keep coming back, and Israel will continue to remain under threat, and we will continue to find ourselves in this continued cycle of violence. So what the Deputy Secretary are talking about, how Israel has a responsibility to connect their military operation to a clear strategic endgame about a holistic, integrated strategy to ensure the lasting defeat of Hamas and for a better alternative future for Gaza, one that is consistent with the principles that the Secretary laid out in Tokyo. We're talking about things like a Gaza reunited under the Palestinian Authority, a Gaza that is not under the control of Hamas and can no longer be a springboard for terrorism against the Israeli people. And we are talking about a region that, in our hope, has a negotiated two-state solution that is reflective of the will of the Israeli and Palestinian people. And that's what we're talking about here.
I've some things on other topics, but I imagine